Oh,
there it is.
Oh, is that?
It started sideways, but
we're okay now?
I think so. You're not laying down sideways.
Look at our shenanigans. Come on.
Coming through.
We don't need you to be in today's video.
They're in today's video. Just not the stars of it.
No, go on. All right, everybody.
Happy Tuesday.
For them. It's Monday for us.
Yes.
All right. Well, we're going to do a little walkthrough of
what you did this weekend.
What we did this weekend, yeah. Yeah, so we processed some roosters. I just got done preparing for tomorrow's batch. But we were able to get through, see, we put 10 in the freezer.
10 fulls.
What's that?
Did we put 10 full ones in the freezer? Or 10 total?
10 whole chickens,
yeah.
And then 2 parted meat birds in the freezer. And then a third one that's gonna be in the barbecue soon, or a smoker. Mm-hmm. So that's 13. And then we had 4 that no, those don't count. And then 4 that we boiled yesterday, that we cooked yesterday and gave to the
animals.
So what is that, 17?
Something like that.
Something like that. Are you just going to be hiding behind the camera today?
If you tell me to record, I get to pick which direction the camera goes.
Okay. All right, so let's, I guess we'll just start over here.
I like to focus my intent, on the subject matter.
Whew. Saturday, we spent all day just preparing, getting stuff out of storage, cleaning, organizing, and setting up the processing area.
If you're going to process them tomorrow, that food needs to be taken out. They can't be eating all night.
Okay. So these guys, we had all of the roosters. We put all of the roosters in here that we planned to process this weekend. That's heavy.
Yeah, I just filled it yesterday.
Here Friday evening, and then just closed everything so they couldn't leave.
They can't get into the run, therefore they cannot do what those girls are doing and escape and jump out and run around.
Yep. So we still have a lot more to go, and yeah, that's okay. We got through 17. It was a good haul. So basically what we did was we grabbed them out of there, but we used our chicken crates. What are those called?
It's our carrying totes. Basically, they're transport totes that a lot of people that have large amounts of chickens use, because it's a lot easier and more humane because the birds can't injure themselves in them. Their feet don't come out the bottom. It keeps them in there. There's airflow every which way. So you'll see it in a lot of commercial type chicken.
Yeah, they work really well.
I was first turned on to them when I started selling roosters, when we had too many, like our first batch, because a couple people that came to our property to buy had those, and I was like, that is handy, because they were fitting like 15 birds in there, and it was nice.
Yeah, it was nice.
So
we put a bunch of birds in each one of these and brought them over, and then this is the area where we did the dispatching. At first I was doing 3 roosters at once. I would dispatch 3, and then one by one I'd bring them over. But it made more sense after I did that to not do it that way, because by the time I got done with the first 2, the third one was sitting out here for quite some time. So what I ended up doing was just putting 1 rooster in, dispatching it, and then you have to wait about 3, 4, 5 minutes after you dispatch it before you can put it into the scalder. So waited there and then put them into the scalder, walked them over here. So this pot here was just full of hot water, 150 degrees, 160 degrees-ish water with, just some Dawn soap in it. Not a lot, but enough. And the soap helps bring the feathers out more.
Yeah, it makes them easier to pluck.
So dip them in there for about a minute or so, pull them out. When you can easily pull the feathers off of the wings, then they're ready to go. And then put them in the plucker. Right now the plucker's not set up. This is not how it's
upside
positioned.
down.
It's upside down. So I was cleaning it, but put them in the plucker.
And we picked up the majority of the feathers, but some of it's a little hard to pick up.
Oh yeah, there was just
they're roosters.
Piles of feathers, yeah.
Lots and lots of feathers.
So once they were plucked, then we brought them over to the table.
Minus the dehydrator.
And did the eviscerating here. And after evisceration was done, then we walked them over here and put them in an ice bath. So Katie went and got 7 bags of ice. 2 stayed in the freezer, 5 went in here along with some water and just a little bit of bleach, not much, just a little bit. And they stayed in here pretty much overnight. So it was kind of a long process. I mean, like I said, we got through 17. We started at about 8 in the morning, ended at what, about
yeah, I don't
4:30?
think the first one actually, I mean, we started getting ready, but the first one wasn't processed probably until about 9:30.
10, something like that,
Yeah.
yeah. And yeah, it just takes a while. And I was just being super, super careful when I was doing the evisceration to not, nick any of the innards, especially the bowel tracts, because you don't want that stuff on the meat. And if I did happen to make that mistake, then those birds would go into a different, into a bin that we would then boil down for the chickens to eat.
Yeah, and we each had our own little stages. So I would catch the roosters, get them in the little crates over there for Nate. He would do the dispatching, and then he would do also we both kind of helped a little bit with the scalding, but the majority was Nate. We both helped with the plucking of the feathers. My job was to keep it unclogged because of the amount of feathers, so I was cleaning that out. And then he would do the cleaning them out. The evisceration, and then I would either go cook them or go do whatever, and then just work on what he needed help with, like how can I support, because he knows those processes a lot better than me, and I'm still a little rough for me.
Yeah, it's not really your favorite part.
It's not my favorite part.
Yeah, so what we have here, I just kind of want to show what we have going on here. One of the things we wanted to do is try to use as much as we can from the animal.
Yes.
From the chicken. We didn't do the guts, that'll just go into compost. But we did with the legs this time, we're actually dehydrating the legs and they're going to become dog treats. And so with these, what we ended up doing was boiling them, and then I took all of the nails out of the tips, or took the nails out of the toes, because those are really sharp still, and I cut the talons because those are really sharp, and then put them in the dehydrator. And then what you see here, this is actually the second batch of scratch grain. When I was boiling down some carcasses, or I was boiling down the feet, we would have, I don't know whatever that is, 5 gallons of stock of hot water with really good fat in it. And so I would put the grain, the scratch grain, in that boiling water, and it would soak up all of the nutrients and all of the fats from it, and that's then provides more nutrient dense feed for the animals. So trying to reduce the amount of feed that we have to give them to reduce our costs. And then we've had 1, 2, 3, 4. There were 4 that Katie cooked last night, 4 carcasses, and those were distributed to some different runs. And then this morning when I was parting out the meat birds and we put the legs, the breast, the thighs, the wings in the freezer, I had some carcass left over and I boiled those in the stock tank and gave them to various chickens around here. So all of the chickens are really well fed.
They're eating very well.
They're eating very, very, very well. Yeah. So tomorrow's plans are pretty much the same. It's just gonna be me because Katie has to work. But what I'm gonna do tomorrow is I think probably the majority, if not all of them, are just going to be used for livestock feed and for the dogs.
And why is that?
I don't know, why is that?
Size. A lot of them are,
size and time, but yeah.
Size and time. So a lot of the ones that are left, we tried to process. So we tried to process the ones that we knew had, were either meat birds or that would provide good meat. Some of the ones that are left are just, they're just not grown out enough, and they're just not a meat bird type. And anyone who's ever processed a rooster knows that typically they're a lot less meaty than a hen, but especially like your leg bars and your other non-dual purpose birds. And so we're going to use them to help supplement food for the dogs and for the other animals.
Yeah, and we can do that because what I'm going to do tomorrow, instead of having an ice bath here, I've set up it on top of cinder blocks, and I have another propane tank and my weed torch here that puts out like 35,000 BTUs of heat. So I'll have this thing on full blast, heating the water that's in the stock tank here and basically making a giant pot of stock. So boil down the meat, and then we can take the carcasses out and then scrape off the meat and put them in baggies and freeze the meat for the dogs, and then take the carcasses and distribute them to all of the flocks, and they'll pick them clean.
And then if we can use some of the broth, we'll use.
I can do that with that one. Once I'm done scalding everybody, I can put a couple in there and we can use it for broth. This one, because of the lining, I don't mind having like cold ice in here because it's not gonna, but with the hot water, I think probably we'll just do, if we want to do some stock, we can just do it with that one. Yeah.
Well, I guess I meant with the stock that was created from here, it can go to the animals too.
Oh, yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I meant, not making my own stock for us.
Got it.
Sorry.
Yeah. Doing what I basically did with
Correct.
that. Okay.
Exactly. Like, just how are we going to reuse it instead of just pouring all of the collagen and all of that stuff out?
Yeah. So, yeah, it was a lot of work. I mean, for all of you that have had experience processing chickens or any animal, you know that there's pretty much a day of prepping, then the day of, and then there's the day of afterwards of cleaning. And that's what I've been spending most of today, was after we put the meat in the freezer from the ice bath this morning, then it was cleaning everything and then doing all of the carcasses and then cleaning. But and then this is our first time doing the chicken legs.
I'm trying the chicken feet. So
chicken feet, yeah.
Yeah, chicken feet. So they're good. I've always been told they're really good for dogs because of the amount of collagen, and they've got a lot of other really good nutrition in them. And so I was researching different ways to do it. You can feed them to them raw. However, these chickens had been in runs. It's been muddy. So obviously we want to make sure they're super clean. That's why we boiled them first. So we basically sanitized them. As Nate said, he cleaned off all of the skin and the nails because we didn't want anything that could potentially injure the dogs. And then what I read is if you dehydrate them for 24 hours.
Oh, 24 hours.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, your 4 hours is a little late.
No, that was 6 hours. That was 4 hours. 2 hours ago. It was a 6 hour.
It was a 6-hour timer.
So we have to.
So we'll just keep adding to it. So if you dehydrate them for 24 hours.
Does it say what temperature?
I would have to go back and look. I don't know off the top of my head. Then they make a really good dog treat. So that's what I'm going to do.
So I was going to actually ask you. So we have the feet and the legs. Can they have the legs, the leg bone, or is it just the feet?
Are you talking about? So any chicken bone, if it's cooked at over 150 degrees, you should not give to a dog because it can shatter.
Okay, so once these are done dehydrating, we'll have to cut off the
because they're still
legs.
attached to the little bit of the, you still got the shin in there.
Yes.
Got it, okay.
Yeah, the shin's in there.
Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
That's okay. I mean, that's fine.
That's fine. That'll be easy.
Easy
when they're
to do.
dehydrated, it should just break right off.
Yeah.
So it should be good.
One of the things that I wanted to do.
I don't know, curious if any of you have done this before. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just trying to research it as we're doing it.
One of the things that I wanted to do, I'll spare your arm here.
Thank you.
Since we're going to be doing a big old stock and we have the carcass left over, that's good bone, but I don't know how to make like bone meal out of it. I wanted to find a way to basically grind up the bone small enough or powdery enough to then supplement into feed for,
again, to feed it back
for the chickens. So
Yeah.
if any of you have any recommendations on how to do that, can you comment down below? Because I probably won't be able to do it this round because we won't see the comments in time, but for future
Yeah.
rounds, because we're always wondering what to do with the carcass after everything's been picked clean and whatever.
Yeah, because we definitely try to feed as much back to the animals as possible. But I was commenting how weird it was with not having the pigs. Like for some of these things, we would just be like, oh, just throw it in the pigs. With the pigs, they'll take care of it.
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, we don't have that. And we don't know anyone really close to us that has pigs. So
Yeah.
it's like, oh, shoot.
Yeah. Yes. And the only thing about the intestines is like, I'm a little worried about giving that raw to things. It's probably okay, but
Yeah.
putting it into compost and letting it break down over a year or two,
Yeah.
it'll be
If you have a hot enough compost, it won't take that long.
Yeah. We don't.
We don't.
No, we have the slow.
We got the slow.
Low and slow. So supplies in here, and I have the tote out here because in the mornings it gets pretty dewy and wet, so things just go back into the tote. So I don't need to clean up everything every single night.
No, just come out with a fresh thing of sanitizer and just wipe off all the surfaces.
That's another thing, yeah. So you saw bleach right there. We went out and bought bleach, and then I have a spray bottle here that is a little bit of bleach and water, and as we need to sanitize things, since we're touching things all over the place, just using bleach and then the hose to spray things down, and then we also have paper towels and antibacterial Dawn soap to scrub things down along with sponges. So we're being very, very diligent on keeping things clean,
Yes.
especially when it's food that's going to go to consumption for us.
Yeah.
But we now have very full freezers,
Very full
very
freezers.
full freezers of a bunch of roosters and
Pork.
Yeah, pork and some sheep too.
And some sheep and a little bit of beef, but the beef was not raised here, obviously.
Yeah.
We have some from the neighbors
And butcher box.
and butcher box,
Yeah.
what we have left. Yep.
Yeah.
So definitely have plenty of protein.
Yes.
Now let's just figure this garden situation out next year.
Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't get to ordering the tongue and groove. I probably won't get to ordering it tomorrow. Maybe I can order it Wednesday for pickup on Friday.
Nice.
I think that's kind of the plan.
Yeah, because they said it would be pretty quick. Like we could pretty much pick it up next day. So
Oh, okay, good.
he was pretty quick on it. So
Okay.
because
Yeah.
everything we wanted was in stock.
Sweet. Yeah. So that's you guys are caught up. That's the weekend.
Yeah, that's the ugly side of homesteading weekend.
Yeah. I think going forward, there's a few changes I want to make. A couple more tables for places to be sat. And then with the scalder, I want to get one of those electric scalders that just automatically keep the temperature and not use a propane
Yeah.
stock pot type thing, because that'll make a
Just
big
be
difference.
more efficient, because sometimes you're just stuck waiting for the temperature to be right, because don't want to overboil and potentially cook some of the skin, and it's just you want it to be right.
Yeah, there's a few things. And then getting some twine is one of the things I found was putting the processed chicken into the ice bath the next morning. They're very, very cold, which they should be, but they're also very, very stiff.
Yeah.
And if they're not set up correctly to fit into a bag, a shrink bag, then you're really wrestling that shape of the chicken that's sprawled out, or legs are sticking straight out, or whatever. So if I get some twine to basically wrap the chicken
Push them
up,
back in
yeah,
place.
push them in place, and then put them in the ice bath.
Put them in the fetal position.
Yeah. Because I'm not quite good enough to where I can get the skin to overlap the legs to put them into the right position.
To do that tuck.
Yeah.
I just now remember that.
Yeah.
I remember being shown that. Okay.
And it makes sense why they do it now.
Absolutely.
But-
It really does. Now that I'm like, why do all of our roosters go like this? It's like every single one in the freezer. Rooster, rooster, rooster.
Yeah.
I don't know why we didn't have that issue with the hens. They folded down just fine when we processed our meat birds, like originally. All of them are perfectly in position, and I don't think, because again, it was us.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't think we did the tucking of it, so I don't know what the difference is. Maybe it's the amount of weight to them. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it holds them in place better.
I have no idea. I don't know.
Because roosters are so active and they're always using their legs. That's what I attribute it to.
Sure, that works.
That's what I think.
That works. Yeah.
Who knows?
Who knows? All right, well, I guess that's the weekend.
Yep.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
24 hours. Yeah, let's figure out what that temperature is because I have it at 150 right now.
Okay.
So.
Let me ask Mr. Goo Goo Pants.
All right. I think I'm going to take Kinsley out for a walk.
Oh, she'd love that.
Yeah.